Hello, it is me again. It has been a week since the last video and I just wanted to add a few things that I didn't cover last time. We'll go through a bunch of comments and answer a few things. I will also put this thing up because I only had this bit in the description here. Where is it? There you go. Alright. Every time I make a video I realize how fucking awkward I am and I have no idea why anyone is watching, but thank you for that. And for those of you who are new, maybe I should have done a little TLDR of who I am last time already, but I saw that a lot of you people visited my website where you can find my background story to learn more, but let's sum it up a little bit now. I'm originally from Germany. I eventually moved to Sweden for a few years where my partner studied level design. I was a veterinarian nurse myself, specialized in surgery, in X-ray and narcotics, among a bunch of other things. Later on I became a streamer to take care of my mental health, and I was unemployed because of it for a while, until my partner got the level design position at CIG, which is when we moved to the UK, and that was about 3 years ago. So I was a variety streamer at first, then had an increased interest in Star Citizen because he was working at CIG, but he's working on Squadron 42. I started backing the game back in like 2017 and followed the development ever since, but during the last like 2 years or something I was streaming Star Citizen more and more to learn about it. Eventually I decided I wanted to work at the company as well, and due to my lack of experience in game development on paper, I started as QA because that is an entry job. I can obviously keep working towards another role if I wanted to, but right now I'm actually happy with where I am and what I'm doing, and I just enjoy doing my job. And I've been at CIG for over 1.5 years at this point. Okay, so now that we got that covered, let me also tell you that my videos are not to try and convince anyone to like the game. I'm not trying to sell it, because that's literally not my job. The only reason I do this is because I care about the game and the company, and I care about what I do, like my current position. This is my free time, right? I don't need to do any of this. I could keep work stuff at work, but I'm just somewhat passionate about this, so like, I just want to do this. So what you think about is your opinion. You can have constructive criticism, which is perfectly fine. I just answer with what I think. My last video with the pizza analogy was just a simple, easy way to describe something really complex, because not everyone knows how games are made and how complicated things can be. A lot of people also think, damn, $700 million and this is all we got? You gotta keep in mind, like, do you even realize how much more other companies make? Have you ever looked into the revenue of like mobile games? What they make is a lot more in terms of the amount in just a month. We could take another example as well. Like, do you know how much money it takes to just make a 2-hour movie? How long filming takes? How much you have to pay all of the actors? How much time and effort it is to even write a script, film at certain locations, have the right sounds, do the editing and so on? That also costs millions. And all we get is like a 2-hour movie. It's literally the same as I had at my old job as a veterinarian nurse, where customers would complain about each visit being so expensive. But you do realize that people aren't swimming in money when you have a bunch of employees needing their salary. The hospital isn't exactly free either. All the x-ray machines, surgery tables, every tool, every piece of medicine and whatnot. Like, everything needs to be paid for. So if you are, as an example, coming in for a checkup for your puppy and make sure that the blood test is fine and the vaccines are all fine, then you're paying for the general treatment itself. You are paying for the syringe that we use, the vaccine that we use, the vials that we use for the blood, the lab that has to check the blood under their microscope, the patient files that we keep in our database and so on. So like, there is a lot more to it than just, yeah, your puppy is fine, we took some blood and everything looks good. So we even had one example where we did a blood test on their puppy and turned out it was fine, and he was asking for a refund, and we were like, why? But he said, well, you said everything is fine, so there wasn't any problem, so I want my money back. But you are paying for, you know, the procedure and the check, and we are still looking at the blood cells and making sure that everything is fine. It's not like you only pay if something is wrong. I mean, just think about your rent, for example. The cost of living. You most likely pay your rent or had to save up a bunch for your house, pay for the water, pay for the electricity you use and stuff, pay for your fridge replacement and whatever else you need, whatever else breaks. whatever else is required to live. So it's basically the same thing at the gaming company. You gotta pay for all the things, all the people who work. And this stuff simply takes time and money to do so, and it's completely normal. But anyway, let's get to some of the comments and answer them collectively. So I tried to sum it up a little bit. One thing that is quite obvious, of course, is that people are frustrated with the development times. A bunch of people weren't satisfied with the prolonged development and delays, thinking that the development time is still too long considering everything. Some people don't have the patience or even time, which is why they're understandably annoyed. My answer to that is that I'm not making these videos to try and convince people, as I said. You don't have to like it the way it is, but it was more about me expressing the fact that I can see it from both sides. As I said, I've been a backer myself, and I know that things have been taking a lot of time to get to this point, but I also generally have no expectations, and therefore cannot really get disappointed. So that's just me though, because I just go with the flow. I take what I can get. I don't expect something specific to happen. And now I'm also able to see it internally and simply understand even more so that development isn't easy at all, and it comes with a lot of problems. So basically all I want people to understand is how complex things are, and hope that people don't think that we're just sitting around twiddling our thumbs and just fooling around intentionally. Obviously every single dev, every person who works on the game wants to make a fun, functional, done game. What would be the point of working on something if it isn't meant to be turning into some actual thing? And also about the expectations, it is really freaking difficult to meet expectations when everyone has a different perspective of what they like or want. When is it enough? When is it too little? Or is it too much? Like, what's reasonable to each person? With such a diverse audience, it is literally impossible to please everyone, right? And what the company ends up doing is a collective decision that they think is the right choice based on a bunch of factors. However, I won't dive deeper into this now because that's not really something I can talk about in detail anyway, as I'm part of the development team. But you need to understand that, it is difficult to meet your expectations because someone else's expectations are completely different than yours. And now to get back to the comments, a lot of people actually appreciated the transparency, the insight, and my pizza analogy, as it seemed to make more sense to people in order to understand the complexity. I could have gone into a lot more detail with that one, but I think it was good enough to get my point across. There was also a lot of engagement when it comes to the analogy that I gave in the last video. And by the way, if you're new here, you can also watch the previous video to understand what I'm actually talking about right now. So the thing is, as long as you're giving constructive feedback, because I simply care about your opinion, rather than some of the comments straight up just being insulting. I mean, by the way, thank you for the concerns about the negativity, but I don't really worry about it because I literally do not give a shit about some random negative person's opinion about me. Like, if they don't like me or the video, then they don't have to watch it. You can just fuck off. Like, I don't know, you're basically just wasting your own time typing something toxic in a comment than actually offending me. It is so difficult to actually offend me. And none of this hurts my feelings because it changes nothing about me, it changes nothing about what I do or my job. But anyway, to move on with the comments, there were some mixed feelings about the progress. While some are optimistic about the game's potential and enjoy learning about the development itself, others are questioning the prioritization and focus, feeling that there are too many resources spent on unnecessary features or like resources going into sitcon rather than development. This is what I think is like a personal opinion, because you could ask one person what they expect from a space game and they would say something like, yeah, I want a variety of ships, I want planets, and mainly dogfighting. That's it, that's a space game to them, and they don't want anything much more. Then you could ask another person and they would say, well, I want a bunch of ships, I want planets, I want dogfighting, but I also want base building and more FPS gameplay outside of ships, as well as professions and trading and monster hunting and so on. Like, the list can go on. Like, every single person you ask will want something different. So trying to find a middle ground between what the devs want to create in the first place or what the players want to get is incredibly difficult. So yeah, I agree. Some features I wouldn't even have thought about, but we got them anyway. Some features I'm really actually looking forward to myself, but literally every person has another view. I personally like the exploration part of the game, so having a variety of systems with their awesome visuals for great screenshots is what I think is pretty cool. I always wanted things to feel more alive by adding more creatures, which is what we got now, a bunch of them. I wouldn't mind more. Then there's gonna be improved clouds and seasons and such, and the weather effects make things so much more epic as well. I'm not actually that much into ships and their specifications because I rather use them for transportation or cargo holding or something, but I care less about like ship fighting. I actually do enjoy FPS combat more, and I rather use a ship to get to certain places in order to do that. Basically, I've always enjoyed shooters in general, but Star Citizen is also just like so chill, and I enjoy the company of the community more than anything. And yeah, overall I appreciate that a lot of people were so encouraging and showing gratitude for the team's efforts regardless of how the development is going, because let's be honest, there's still no fucking other way like this. Fucking unique kind of game development, which I am proud and happy to be part of, not gonna lie. Now, while you were watching this video, there has been some gameplay in the background, and I might just try to do a similar thing as the other time, where you can point out bugs or issues that you've spotted within this video. And in the next video I could go through this footage again and then show you the difference between working on the game and playing the game. I've already tried my best to explain what it is like to be a QA, because I still think that a lot of people actually have no clue what exactly I do. Actually, I'm really curious to know what you think I actually do at work. What do you think is actually involved in my job? Most people actually think that I'm just getting paid to play 8 hours a day, or people think I have literally tested everything in the game, everything that exists in the game, which is impossible due to how much stuff we got, as well as the stuff that we are still working on for the future. What people do on Evocati is not the same as my job, but I'm seriously curious to hear what you think my job actually involves. Unfortunately, I cannot show you more than what I already tried to clarify in previous videos, because that would be internal stuff that I simply cannot display here, and my videos are just basically a general QA thing, not necessarily what CIG does specifically, but you know, I'm trying to explain like what it takes to be a good QA and what you actually need to work on and how much it takes to cover everything. Anyway, I tried to keep it short again. I'll end the video here. I hope it made sense, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one, and maybe there's gonna be something else that is cringe this weekend, so keep an eye out. Thank you for watching again, and I'll see you around. Bye bye bye.